Donald Trump is trying to move on from the Epstein issue, but he keeps getting asked questions, this being the several-week window where the House is on recess, but they'll be coming back, and this topic won't die. Republicans subpoena everyone and anyone over Epstein except Trump. So we're going to get into this, then afterwards we'll talk about the Texas redistricting, aka stealing votes as they try to gerrymander, not going according to plan, and then we have a real great town hall as Mike Flood, a senator, just gets booed to oblivion and tells people point blank, you will not have universal health care. So here we have some thoughts about Ghislaine Maxwell. The Justice Department has an audio recording of the interview it conducted with Jeffrey Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. Here's the conversation about whether or not they will release it.
We're learning that there was actually an audio recording made when Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche went to Florida to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein associate, who was, of course, convicted for several of the sex crimes related to him. And look, we now are learning that many Trump officials tell us they are currently debating whether or not to make not only the audio public, but transcripts of it. One official told me they're currently going through transcribing it, digitizing it, redacting it, and a question now is whether or not, if and when, they would actually release it publicly.
Not holding my breath. Maybe it'll come out after that Doge check we're all going to get. Or how about this? Maybe after they're finishing ironing up that concepts of a healthcare plan, they'll get to redacting and releasing. But again, my breath will not be held. Here's Caitlin Collins asking Trump the questions we all want to know. Did you take part in moving Ghislaine Maxwell to a new prison complex? He says it's normal. This almost never happens.
One, were you aware of and did you personally approve the prison transfer for Ghislaine Maxwell that your Justice Department?
I didn't know about it at all. No, I read about it just like you did.
And do you believe that she is?
It's not a very uncommon thing.
Do you believe that she's credible to be listening to? Your Deputy Attorney General sat down with her recently.
Well, let me tell you, he's a very talented man. His name is Todd Blanche. He's a very legitimate person, very high. I just a very highly thought of person, respected by everybody. And I didn't talk to him about it, but I will tell you that whatever he asked would be totally appropriate, and it's not an uncommon thing to do that. And I think he probably wants to make sure that, people that should not be involved or aren't involved are not hurt by something that would be very, very unfortunate, very unfair to a lot of people. But I will say this, Todd Blanche.
What is he talking about? Either way, Todd Blanche was his personal criminal attorney, and just about everyone who's worked in the judicial system or has worked for the Department of Justice has said that how odd it is that they brought like the second highest in command, to do this interview, like that this would just never be done, that there are bigger things on the docket. But again, this is a big deal to them, and we'll have more information as it comes out, but we're kind of in this holding period where now we're getting these subpoenas. And it's going to be up to, I guess, the FBI to release the files. And I mean, there's so much stalling and just hoping this goes away. I'm here to let you guys know it won't. It's not going away. Well, this is a real doozy of a town hall. The town hall where, I guess this is in Lincoln, Nebraska. Oh, I said senator. It's Representative Mike Flood. Sorry. This is why they are advising people not to do town halls, because it's going poorly. Because the towns are pissed.
Now you said, you don't want to see a lazy 28-year-old get health care, whatever. My point is, every working and retired American should be entitled to health care. Would you sign on or write up a bill for Medicare for all? We've got Medicare now. We can start rolling back the age 5, 10 years at a time. Would you support that?
We can't afford that.
Yes, you can. Just now you said.
On behalf of everybody, can we all go sneeze on this guy? No, don't sneeze on him. But here in the comment section, someone said Medicare for all would save $650 billion and 68,000 lives a year. Trump's budget bill increased the deficit by over $4 trillion, makes the largest cut in Medicaid in history, and will cause 51,000 Americans to die unnecessarily each year. It's a dang tragedy. People's premiums are going to go up. I mean, my wife, my son, and myself, I pay $1,300 a month for us. I got sick a couple weeks ago, and I got a bill for $500 after I presented my health insurance. They wouldn't take the health insurance I had. $500 to get a COVID test and a couple ibuprofens. And again, I can afford it. The problem is, for everyone who can't afford it, they're going to decide just not to go to the doctor. And literally our death expectancy our life expectancy is dropping. It's dropping. We're like no longer living as long as we did several years ago. It's absolutely wild. So here's again, Representative Mike Flood.
You do not get free health care. You do not get free health care.
Dude, honestly, fuck this guy. You know why? They get free healthcare. And look, I know economics. There's no such thing as a free lunch. The whole point is when you pay into a socialized health program, everyone's taxes go into it. So you end up paying less than you pay to your insurance middleman. I pay $1,300 a month, but then the second I get sick, it's an extra $500. I want to have a beautiful baby boy, it's an extra $12,000. God forbid I get sick. How much money is it going to cost? So let's remember, they tell you all of these falsities, and it's the insurance lobbyists that, grab them by the balls and literally fondle them to the point that they, can't get anything accomplished because they're in their pockets, quite literally. They say, oh, we don't want to live in a country where you have to wait 4 years to get a knee replaced. Trust me, we live in a country where people are dying on the streets. So very rich for Representative Mike Flood to say, you don't get health care when he's an elected official who gets health care. It's absolutely ridiculous. I wish nothing but the worst of Representative Mike Flood. Unless I hear otherwise, this is a guy who, either needs to be voted out or needs to be publicly mocked and shamed. People are dying in the streets. America, the US of A, prides itself on being one of the richest, if not the richest countries in the world. And if you are not entitled enough to work the type of job that dangles healthcare over your head, you are absolutely screwed. Again, fuck this guy. Let's continue. James Tallarico, he boldly is one of the Democrats who fled Texas as they tried to redistrict. Now, I want to share how and what's actually going on, because there's plenty of people that say, yeah, but every state redistricts. And this is part of the problem with our country is we need to move to independent redistricting so that we can't accuse one side of gerrymandering versus the other. But he flat out was accused of, basically the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, said if any of these people are caught accepting money from anybody else, it's going to be considered bribery, and then they're going to have them arrested. Here is James Tallarico's response.
For Greg Abbott, who took $12 million from an out-of-state billionaire to pass private school vouchers to defund our schools, it's pretty rich for him to accuse us of bribery. Same goes for Ken Paxton, perhaps the most corrupt politician in the entire country. I'm not going to take legal advice from Ken Paxton or Greg Abbott, but I will say that I'm ready to pay these fines myself. I knew when I broke quorum that I had to face consequences, financial, political, personal. Many of my colleagues are leaving behind young children. Some of them are leaving behind aging parents. And all of us are leaving behind our day jobs. As you know, Rudy, we make $600 a month before taxes as state reps.
They make $600 a month. They were brave enough to leave Texas because they knew that if they stayed in Texas, they'd have to vote on a bill that is going to absolutely rob them of the chance to participate in a democracy. It's really broken down well here. Have a listen.
We're here to stop it. When politicians can redraw the maps in the middle of the decade just because they're scared that voters won't reelect them, that's betrayal. Let's be clear. This special session was supposed to be about saving lives after a tragedy. A cabin full of 8-year-old girls was washed away in the middle of the night. Families called 911 only to hear that help wasn't coming. At the end of the day, 137 Texans lost their lives. That's an emergency. That demands our action. But instead of holding hearings on flood prevention, Greg Abbott and Donald Trump held 8 hearings on redistricting, not for fairness, not for representation, but to manufacture 5 more Republican seats in Congress to enable Trump to cling on to power. That isn't governing, that's a heist.
Listen, I don't this whole idea, people, well, what about the other side? You're not providing both sides. Where's the other side to this? Taking a tragedy where children were swept away in a flood and using that as a chance to have a special vote that will then have gerrymandering snuck into it. Make this make sense. Listen, you don't want to lose those votes? Fight for your people. Do what you got to do. It's a democracy. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Fight for the people, and maybe you won't lose those votes. But don't rewrite the rules because you passed policy that's going to leave people without their healthcare system. We've got the I Had It podcast absolutely roasting Scott Jennings. He's sort of this Trump kiss ass on CNN. And here's what they have to say about his, lack of ability to have any empathy for people that are suffering from the current executive branch's decision making.
A camel would have an easier time making its way through the eye of a needle than a rich man would to heaven. So this whole hypocrisy where you have all of these people, like I like to pick on that Scott Jennings, big Bible guy on CNN, right? And he wants to be this big Jesus guy, but all he is a cheerleader for a billionaire. He's a billionaire's bitch that brought him out on stage as his little show pony, right? And as long as Scott Jennings doesn't speak out of line, then Trump heaps praise on him. And I just think what a demeaning position to be in, to not believe in anything, and you seek the approval of McCankle's taco tits, who can't even blend his makeup. Like, that does it for you?
Jeez, tell us how you really feel. A billionaire's bitch. Yeah, there's a lot of daddy issues going on out there where people just want his accolades. And, because if you dissent, if you say anything that disagrees with the holy leader here, they say you're a Republican in name only, and it's absolute hogwash. I had to shoehorn this into the conversation here. This was an aerial shot of Gaza. It's absolutely devastating. They warned people that were delivering aid not to take video of from the air of what Gaza looks like. It's absolutely devastating. I thought this was AI. It does not look real. It is essentially a whole community and their buildings completely destroyed.
Looking down at Gaza from the sky, it is chilling. The ground is basically an ashen fire pit. Swathes of Gaza City are no longer standing. It is just a tyranny of dust and ash. And you can see families living in tents on the beaches. You could see people crowding around what looks like the rare aid convoys getting in. It was utterly heartbreaking to see.
And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, you've seen it from the ground, the brave video journalists that are sharing what's going on. They're starting, again, to trickle in aid, but it's too little. It's not enough. And our government, is too busy trying to rewrite districts to gain votes in state elections and take away people's health insurance and give tax cuts to the billionaires. And which of us out here wants to be a billionaire's bitch? Why don't we get back to doing what's right and helping out people that are less fortunate? Why the hell not? All right, that's it for me. I'll be back this afternoon. I have a Candace Owens video that's going to be coming midday, so check that out. And then we'll be back twice a day, every day, pop culture and politics. We'll see you then. I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.